Yep. Well, well welcome to a special headline. I am your host, Larry H. Gardner, and unfortunately, the H stands for heavy heart. Now, I don't know if we have lost our humanity in some odd way or something else like that. But first of all, I thank everybody listening at WNRV1081.com. We do have a guest today who is doing amazing things with foster girls and women who are coming out of foster care. But I'm going to take this time to acknowledge, first of all, we have everybody knows about what's going on, especially here in Ohio. 152nd in St. Clair pretty much got shot up. 216 249 6658 is the number to call in if you are listening out there. Second of all, to all the graduates that, even if you didn't get straight A's or honor roll, I thank you. Um, Congratulations. I know some of you worked real hard, probably just to get that C. So I understand, are going through some stuff. And I see all the prom pictures. Shout out to every high school senior that went to prom. I see all y'all. Y'all look very nice, shining. I don't do the no sock thing, but that's just me. But um, I got. Uh, um, I'm gonna ask my engineer, the human T Rex. This show's on at 9 o'clock. To do a moment. We're gonna do a moment of silence for the victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting in Eucadale, Texas. So if we can just have a moment of silence for those children and the two adults. 30 seconds, please. Okay. All right. I don't know what angle I'm supposed to take. So, as reported yesterday, Eucadale, Texas, Robb Elementary School, a mass shooter, 18 years old, uh, Hispanic boy, came into Robb Elementary School and shot. First of all, he shot his 66-year-old grandmother. She's in critical condition. Second of all, he went into the school, barricaded himself into a classroom, and shot and killed 18 students. Now, the elementary school itself has over 600 students and faculty and staff and everything else. One of the reasons why the Queen with the Gold Mic is not here today, because she's been wrapping her head around it. But as being the head of the headline, the show, we have to carry on. But my whole thing is why. And here's the thing I've come up with. I've been crying all damn morning about this because let me explain something. The elementary school is 10-year-olds or younger. That's fourth and fifth grade children in that elementary school. I have a 10-year-old son who doesn't live with me. He lives in Alabama. But I called him yesterday to see if he was okay. And you don't want to bring your pain to your child And I was just glad to hear his voice. I didn't care if he asked me for anything or not. I was just glad to hear his voice. The thing about it is that for those, my heart and the show's heart and the headline eye and Nerve DJs, we and myself and everybody else that works with us, send our prayers and condolences out to those families that lost loved ones. The two teachers, unfortunately, lost their lives, but it's the 18 children that got to me. I saw those little angels' faces, and it's heartbreaking, especially as a parent, to hear that your baby is not coming home because he's no longer here. It's your baby, man. It's the baby. Now, we had the top shooting in Buffalo where African Americans were targeted by another 18-year-old domestic terrorist who's in handcuffs, by the way. This shooter, the Hispanic boy that did this, he is dead. The police, there was several officers that were in. The 18-year-old perpetrator had AR-15 and rifles and everything, and he just started shooting at random. He barricaded himself into a classroom. There were children there. He shot and killed 18 children. Now, think about this for a second. For anybody that's listening to me on WNRV, on any social media, on YouTube, anywhere, think about this for just a second. And I'm going to I took a deep breath. I'm sorry, I took a sigh. Because like I said, I am a father. I'm a daddy. I'm a parent. I don't want to get that phone call from his mama. I put myself in those parents' shoes. You don't want to get that phone call from law enforcement saying that I'm sorry, Mr. or Miss, Mr. or Ms. or Mrs. or whatever, that your child was shot and killed in a school shooting. Think about that. You raise your children right. Think about when you drop your children off at school or you have them take the bus and they're playing and this is close to the summertime where children are getting off with the best summer vacation, the best time in your life. That means family vacations to Disneyland or anywhere to the Grand Canyon or anywhere else. And you can't prepare for vacation, but you have to prepare to bury your child. Now think of the other scenario. And myself, parents, the father that doesn't live with the mom or the biological father that hasn't, because they're going through some type of visitation custody battle, that hasn't seen his child in 6 months, and the first time that he was going to see his child in a while, or the mom or she's going to see her child in a while, because they work all the time or they see everything else. The first time you see your child's dead. You're not going to be able to visit him. Imagine paying for airplane tickets to have your child fly out to see you, and your child is in Texas and gets caught up in that school shooting or anywhere else, and the room that you had set up for your child, you gotta turn it into a memorial. You know that this person is supposed to, that this child is supposed to be here, to run around. You got their favorite snacks. You got their Capri Suns ready for the summer. You're preparing for them to be home. You're preparing for this, that, and the other. And then you find out that your child is dead. I'm still wrapping my head around this. And I feel bad for them because I put myself in their shoes. And it's sad. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. And it's scary that you can't send your child to school. You can't send your baby to learn, to get an education without worrying about them not coming home. We're not in a war. We're not in a war zone. But we're at war with demons and everything. And it's like, and the thing about it is, as much, you know, I got to give a shout out to Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, for calling out the politicians, the senators that are holding up gun laws. He said it best, we got to play basketball. They lost to the Mavericks last night, but the Dallas Mavericks were carrying heavy hearts. That was right 350 feet away, 400 feet, like miles away from them playing a basketball game. And even though that Dallas won and, the season is not over for them, it just feels like that it's a moot point because of the simple fact of the matter is we still got this going on. I understand that the shooting in St. Clair on 152nd Street or around there, they shooting and killing people. That's not cool either. But we're talking about babies, man, who's killed by a teenager. You can't even drink until you're 21 years old. How in the hell can you get a gun at 18 and just go in there and barricade and shoot it up? And now his life is over. He's dead. He's dead. There's no prosecution. There's no nothing. There was just, you had to put him down. And unfortunately, and I hate to say it, that was the best move because he would have probably still kept shooting. He wasn't surrendering. He had body armor too. How you get body? I just don't understand the premise of what happened yesterday. We can pray, we can get mad at this, and it's like everybody talks about, well, what about gun control? Look, I'm all for more sanctions against people that get guns, but I'm also but you can get the guns underground. If you can't get them legally, you're going to get them illegally. Somebody's going to sell them. And where are the gun companies? Where's the NRA, the National Rifle Association? Silent. And when I say silence is compliance, you're compliant to children getting murdered. You're compliant to children getting murdered. Period. That's what I think about the NRA. Your silence right now is compliant to you paying some of those senators to push your laws for looser gun control so the companies that support you can make more money to buy more guns. And these guns kill innocent children. Where is your heart at? For anybody that thinks differently, ask yourself, where is your heart? And if you are a father or a mother or a grandmother, and you have a child in your household that you are raising, can you look at them after the day the same? I thought it was bad with Sandy Hook. I thought it was bad with Columbine. This is way worse. This hurts, and I understand that, gun violence. But the thing about it is like, what else? What else, man? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? People I don't want to talk about it because it's too hurtful. Well, what do you think I'm doing right now? You think I'm on here for my health? I would much rather be at home right now. And I'm serious. I'm serious. To anybody in the Ohio area, and I'm calling I'm calling out anybody that's running for Congress. That means I'm calling out the two main competitors, Shontel M. Brown and Eric Brewer. You're running for that congressional seat. maybe it's time that you thought about gun control laws. Oh, by the way, June 1st in Ohio, the law is in effect for it to be an open carry state. So after Memorial Day, when the fireworks happen, then June 1st is the real fireworks happen because everybody can walk around here and don't need a CCW. And despite any personal things, I had to talk about this because of the simple fact of the matter is that it's important. If you're fighting for, and the thing about it is, like, if you were fighting for custody for your child or visitation to see your child and you only get a chance to see him once every blue moon, and then you're going to get a chance for the summer, as a parent, it must hurt your heart. And the thing about it is that could have been any one of us. That could have been any parent of any child, school-age child. And what about the families of the perpetrator? He shot his own grandmother. So that means they got to deal with that, but they got to deal with this and them being mad. And now he's dead. He got killed by police after firing on them. I have nothing else. My heart goes out to them, but my heart is broken right now. My heart is I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm hurt, I'm distraught for those families. Because there's going to be an empty seat at the dinner table. And what about if the children had siblings? Older siblings or younger siblings? They can't see, they can't play with their brother or sister no more. Think about the school itself, Robb Elementary School. Think about Ucadale, Texas. I think Shaquille O'Neal said he was born in that area. Think about Ucadale, Texas. 160,000 people that live there. That whole area, that whole city is shook. It's shook. Then you had to call in the Texas Rangers, the AT, all that for one individual who thought that it was that he is going to not end lives of innocent children. Oh, by the way, the reason that just came up today, the reason why he did that was because he was bullied in high school because of his clothes. Oh, the bullying aspect is already started. No excuse to kill children. There is no excuse to kill children. None. Now here's my anger coming out. There is no damn excuse to kill children because you were bullied. Talk to somebody. Get a therapist. Talk to your grandparents instead of shooting your grandmother. They should not allow to have guns. There should be more psychological ways to stop people from getting these guns on the street, especially AR-15s, period. And you senators, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, or whatever. Probably bipartisan about this. And I don't want to hear about anything that Fox News has to say. Because there's been 3 mass shootings in 10 damn days. And we lost 28 to 35 people. Countless and others' lives are ruined. Psychological effects of the families that lost loved ones. And innocent children being killed. We have to stop this. Period. I can't say so much. I'm trying to keep my composure. But damn it, I'm scared. I'm scared for my child. I'm scared for anybody else's child to go out here. You can't even go outside to play. Somebody always want to shoot somebody, and you can't even go to what? They can't go to school no more. Are you kidding me? They can't go to school no more. What? I mean, it was bad enough they was kept out of school because of the pandemic and had to do stuff virtual. But what about their safety? Their safety is more important than anything else like that. These children's safety is more important than anything else like that. I mean, it's sad. It's sad that these children can't. And will they ever get a chance to go back to the elementary school? If I'm a parent, I'm not sending my child back to the elementary school. I'm trying to do my best I can to get out of there. You can't go to that school no more, baby. You can't. They probably had classmates in there, kids that they met that are not here anymore, and it's going to affect them emotionally. They had like teachers breaking the officers breaking windows to get teachers and students out of there because of the mass shooter. The nightmares that they're going to have, the nightmares for the babies, the nightmares for the survivors. You have and shout out to Lisa Townsend. Like, you know that this little person is supposed to be here to eat their snacks, to mess up their bed, to play, to run around, to be children. You have clothes you bet you bought, like they picked out, video games, toys. Those are just memories. Those are memorials to them babies that are gone. We talk about celebrities, losing celebrity, everybody was messed up when Kobe Bryant died. I understand that. But what about these babies that, him and Gianna? But what about these babies that did not get a chance to grow? These were some smart tykes that they got their awards and certificates for moving on to the next grade, just like my son, Guy. This is so sad. And this is one of the saddest shows that I have to do. This is one of the saddest shows that I have to do. And the reason why is because the future of America is our children, and we're losing them by violence, prison, or prison or death. And that 18-year-old who was bullied, could that have been prevented? And that the reason why he went out and killed other children, because he's still a child himself. I don't care if you're 18 or not, you're still not an adult. And now you have other 18-year-olds thinking it's okay to do the same thing he did, to end their lives so damn young that we don't have a future left. We got to stop this. Otherwise, America is going straight to hell if we're not in it already. And like I said, shout out to Steve Kerr for speaking his mind. He just said, I didn't want to talk about basketball. He said he was like, and remember, Steve Kerr's father was assassinated due to gun violence. So I give him a lot of respect as not only a head basketball coach, him and Popovich, but as human beings that give a damn about the community. This is sick. And we got to stop this. Our time is running out. We are losing babies by the daily, and it's getting sick. I'm getting sick and tired, and I'm frustrated. I'm mad for the parents that lost their child, but I'm also feeling because I'm one of the millions that God blessed with a child. And I take being a father very seriously. I was a daddy before I became a radio show host. Before I did, and it was in journalism. Before I was in the media. And I take that very seriously as a daddy. And we got to have a nation of healing, mourning, and then we got to straighten up these minds, get all these people. Like I said, the NRA has to say something. Y'all can't just sit. What are you going to do? You're going to just sit there and act like this didn't happen? You acted like the Buffalo thing didn't happen, and you were silent on that. But what about what if it was your child that didn't come home because of a mass shooter? Then what? What if it was your child, your 9, 10-year-old, your 8-year-old? Or what if it was your child that caused it, an 18, 19-year-old that was mad at the world because he got bullied? What happens with that? Where's our humanity at? We got to get it back. And we're the only country that has this type of problem. Nobody else has it. We got these guns and stuff. We are like, you're trying to do, like, the same people that are trying to ban abortions are the same people that are letting these guns out here killing our children. So pretty much, well, we're trying to, thinking about you trying to save the lives of the unborn, but the born don't, but once they're born, they're on their own? Does that make any sense to anybody in the audience? Does that make any sense to anybody that's listening to me? Does that make sense to anybody? The answer is no. It doesn't make any damn sense at all. And I'm sorry that I'm using the word, but there's a lot more expletives I can say right now that would really put this over the top. But the thing about it is that I'm holding my tongue because the simple fact of the matter is I am hurt. I am completely hurt, exhausted, spent. I cried 3 times. I talked to my friend of mine. I talked to my friend Lisa this morning. We talked about this stuff. I almost slipped. Freudian, almost did a Freudian slip. I apologize, but damn. What? We parents don't get no say-so in our children's matters. And the thing about it is, like I said before, I would not want my child to go back to that particular school. I would not want him to go back to that school, period. This show is going to be dedicated to the lost lives of the shootings from 152nd and St. Clair, to the Buffalo mass shooting, and to the mass shooting that happened in Ugadale, Texas at Robb Elementary School. So to all of the victims, to the families of the victims that lost their lives, those that are still injured from this, those that are psychologically damaged, I'm dedicating this show to you. And I hope that my words go heard to you guys all across the country, that I apologize as a man, as a father, that we didn't that this country can't do any better. And I don't care to President Joe Biden, Joseph R., to Vice President Kamala Harris, to all the administration, you need to do something about this, because I'm not going to sit up here and waste another second talking about another school shooting. Otherwise, I'm just going to ask for y'all removal from office. I don't care. We voted you in, we vote you out. And to anybody that's getting elected in Ohio, especially in Ohio, that general election is coming up in November. If you don't have a solution, then we'll remove you too. Or you're not going, or if you're running for it to be a candidate, you're not going to get in. This hurts. This hurts. And it's not fair to the families that lost their lives. And shout out to the families of the teachers that gave. There was one teacher that got killed that been on the job for 23 years. 23 years! Teaching children. And her life had to end like that. She didn't deserve it. She was dedicated to the staff, not only to the families of the children that are lost, but what about the staff, the families of the staff? You think they want to work in there? No. And we don't have enough good teachers as it is. Some of them might want to get new professions. I'd rather work somewhere else than to be a teacher at a school. We need to protect our schools. Okay, alarms, things of that nature, all that. But we shouldn't treat the children like prisoners either. But there should be more law enforcement. And I heard the interview with one law enforcement officer. How did he get in? He should have been stopped at the door. Well, he made his way in and barricaded the one. He found an opening. Y'all should have caught him before he got into the door. Hit him with something, brick, taser, warning shot to the leg, to make sure that he didn't get in. You see he had guns. What do you think he was going to do? Huh? Don't make any sense, man. It just don't. I feel bad for the children. I feel bad for the parents, the fathers and the mothers. But you know who I feel bad for? Mostly? The other children that are survivors. And you know what they are to the gun authorities. You know what they are to the NRA and to these gun companies. You know what the survivors are? Collateral damage. You know what the dead children and the dead teachers are to those gun companies? Collateral damage. That's what they are. And that's sick. That's not fair to them. By the way, I don't know if back in Ohio, T-Rex, do you know if they caught the guy on 152nd in St. Clair, the SUV riding around?
I have no information about that.
Okay, so suspect is probably still at large. If you listen,
be safe, everybody.
Please.
Be safe.
It's people don't want to come out their homes anymore. And not just because of the pandemic either. And we still got that going on, but because everybody was wanting, this is not the wild, wild west where they can just kill everybody. This is sick. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted as a human being, as a man, as a black man, African American man. As an American, I'm disgusted. Forget about everything else. As an American citizen of a citizen of the United States of America, I am disgusted that we allow this to happen to our children, to America's future, to America's backbone. We allowed this to happen once again in our school systems. And we sit up here, and it's not just in his high schools. It got to the point where it hit babies. These are babies. Teenagers, babies. Any child should not have to worry about somebody coming to their school and shooting them and killing them. Don't we have enough of that going on right now? Don't we have enough street violence going on right now? Don't we have that right now? I'm sick of it. I'm disturbed. I'm disgusted. I didn't even watch any games yesterday. I didn't really, after I heard about it, I called my son. I was satisfied with that. I didn't talk to really anybody last night. And like I said, it hits different when you're fighting for the rights to see your child and you can no longer see your child. So this is why it's important to fight for your rights for your child, to see your child and make sure that you love you and hug your child every day. And what about the parents that, their child made them mad, might have spilled juice on the floor and you fussed at them or said something to them, and those were the last words you said to your child, and you wish you can take those words back? What about that? Because parents, we get mad. No different. What about if you heard that? I'm going to bring my guest in. We'll be right back on the Headline Hour on Nerve these days. I'll talk to you soon. We'll be right back. Peace. Thank y'all.
108.1.
NerdDJsMixtapes.com and MP3 DJs, are you tired of getting viruses from certain sites? I mean, waiting for ads to pass? Pop-ups here, pop-ups there? If so, it's time for you to join Nerd DJ's MP3 pool. The Nerd DJ's MP3 pool has mass downloads.
My engineer, Stottlemyre, you sit right there.
All you have to do is register on NerdDJsMixtapes.com. And make sure to check the exclusive membership
right there.
pool box. It's just
Thank you.
After that,
Yeah, like,
members will approve your
For your headphones, the right knee is the control volume. If it's too loud or too low. Right next to the cord.
Oh.
Control volume. Right.
Just make sure you register at NerdDJs.
Oh, I just turned it left and right.
That's NerdDJsMixtapes.com. NerdDJsMixtapes.com and MP3 Register today and you'll be glad you did. NerdDJsMixtapes.com.
This is the Human T-Rex. Check out my show every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on WNRV 108.1. G.
Hey everybody, it's the Queen with the Gold Mic from Headline Eye. And you can catch me every Wednesday from 6 until 8 p.m. on WNRV 108.1.
This is WNRV 108.1.
Looking to grow or expand your business? Yo, bro, you read my mind. Well, we have the perfect solution for you. Your business needs are important, and so is your advertising. Here at WNRV Power 108.1, we have marketing solutions for all your business needs and affordable pricing to keep you in the green. Give us a call today at 216-702-0688. That's 216-702-0688. Or email us at WNRVPower1081@gmail.com today.
This is WNRV 108.1.
We'll have no intro music, Larry.
We're gonna use this.
Alright.
Are we on camera?
Yep. I mean, like, we're during the break. I don't show what's going on in here. As soon as we go on the mic, the camera.
Oh, so don't pick my nose in nothing.
Don't put your nose. My nose way bigger than yours.
Don't pick my nose in nothing.
Okay.
I guess I should sit up too, huh? I thought it was like a podcast where you just talk.
Yeah, but it's like, so it's like radio too. It's like, because podcasts just talk, so we got music, so it's an actual radio show, and then we got callers in too.
Right, but you have us on camera, like people can see us.
Yeah. You check out the website on YouTube, Twitch, Mixcloud, got a lot of options.
Okay.
They can listen to it, they can watch it a million times if they want to, whatever you're trying to promote. That's what you guys be doing up here.
All right.
For sure.
And the last time I was in this building, it was for Laura Cowan.
Said, oh yeah, she was in here, then they moved, then they went to 90 on 93rd and Wood Hill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's why I didn't go.
okay, so you were with Laura.
Say it again.
You were with Laura.
Yeah, I used to engineer her show too, but then
Okay.
when she went on that side, I couldn't go over that side. So.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Ready?
let's go.
All right. I'm introducing my guest today, founder of Bessie's Angels, Miss Tanya Perkins Stottlemyre. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, I have a question for you. You work with foster women, correct?
Yes, we help young women who are impacted by foster care. Our mission is to nurture, educate, empower young women, and provide low-income housing to young women 16 to 24 that have ever spent a day in foster care.
Okay, so, and what's the name of the foundation?
So we are Bessie's Angels, and we've been a nonprofit. We were founded in probably 2013, but we became a 501c3 in 2015.
Okay. So program that you are promoting is Bessie's Walk.
Yes, yes.
So what about what is Bessie's Walk supposed to do?
So Bessie's Walk is our largest fundraiser that we have, and we have it annually. But even more than a fundraiser, it builds awareness to the plight of young people who have been impacted by foster care. Most people don't know that you could become homeless at 18. And many foster youth, they may not become homeless immediately upon leaving foster care, but at some point as an adult, many become homeless.
Many become homeless?
Yes.
Reason why?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, and it's like anything that happens in society. So they're like any other young person. They want to be on their own. They want to do their own thing. So sometimes it's just because of that. Sometimes, more often though, it's because of the trauma that they received becoming a foster kid. So you have to think about it. When you're a foster child, that means you were taken from your family. Sometimes, more often than not, it was necessary, but it doesn't change it for a kid who was snatched away from their mom or dad or both.
So, do you have foster homes right now, or you are a foster parent? How did you get started with this?
So my story is a spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother is actually who we named the organization after. Her name was Bessie Perkins.
Okay.
And so my grandmother, she was very blessed, and she had the gift of prophecy and healing. And so she was my spiritual mentor. And when she passed away, I kind of had to learn how to do things spiritually on my own.
Okay.
And so I petitioned God to find out what it is I should be doing. And all of a sudden, I started running across young women who were fostered, and they had a lot of issues, that all women have, but theirs were magnified because they didn't have the support that they needed.
Support of a family.
Support of a family. There's things they didn't know, like, we talk about women empowerment and self-love and self-care, and they were never taught those types of things.
Okay. So the age ranges of these women that you helped out or mentored, what were their age ranges?
So we serve young women 16 to 24. We started out serving 18-year-olds. But if you think about it, even in your everyday relationships, trust is always a factor. And people just don't trust you because you say you should. So we thought that if we started serving young people at the age of 16, by the time they were 18 and they actually aged out of foster care, they would know who we are. They would know that we have their best interest in heart, and it would be easier for us to provide them services.
So what happens when they age out of foster care? Then what happens?
Okay, so a lot of things happen. Some young people are fortunate enough to stay with their foster family, but most of them have to find their own way in the world. And so when you think about it, what 18-year-old do you know that can successfully navigate the waters on their own? So they can find some place to stay, but they have to maintain a job. They have to either stay in school. If you're riding down the street and you have a flat tire or you lose your bus pass, there's nobody to call. So they're always one emergency away from homelessness.
So emotional week that this has been, including yesterday. Do you have any? Before we get into that, do you have? So Bessie's Walk is to raise funds for these foster women.
So this is what we do at Bessie's Angels. We help young people with every immediate need they have. It might be something as small as a bus pass. It might be meds. It might be mental health care, or even hospitalization, emergency. We've had young women that were sick, and so they went to the emergency room, and they got out maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, there's no buses running at 3 o'clock in the morning. They could call us, and we could get them a ride share. We have workshops that teach you how to cook, how to budget. We have a mentorship program. We have a laundry and a pantry. And so all of these things cost to run, but it really helps because we see our young people and maybe they're not as clean as the person standing next to them. Maybe their clothes isn't quite as nice. But if you're struggling and you're making minimum wage, and which are you going to go to the laundromat, which by the way is very expensive, or are you going to buy food? And so we have young people losing jobs because maybe they don't have a pair of black jeans, or maybe they can't afford to go get their hair done. Or maybe they talk to their boss like they talk to their girlfriend because nobody ever said that it's a difference. And so we do all of that.
Okay.
But all of that costs money. But see, the thing about it is, while we want people to register and we want to raise money for the walk, what we want is to gather a large group of people together. Because when people see a lot of people, they want to know what's going on. And that's when we get to tell the story of the struggle of our foster youth.
Okay. So when is the event, pretty much?
So we typically have it the first Saturday of June, but this year it's going to be the first Sunday, which is June 5th. We have a walk and a run. The run is 5K. The walk is till you get tired, however you want to do it.
Right.
And it's at the upper pavilion of Edgewater Park. And most people go down at the bottom, but the upper pavilion is beautiful. It has a beautiful view. The weather is nice. It's a lot of fun. It's family friendly, pet friendly. We have a kids corner. We just have a lot going on. And it's really a celebration of people supporting other people.
Got a phone call.
Okay. Caller, are you there? Hello? Are you there? Hello?
One second. Turn up.
Yes, hello?
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can. Who is this?
This is James, man.
James.
Nah,
Hey, what's up, James? How are you?
what's going on, man?
Nothing much. You wanna so you have a question to ask the guest, or you have a comment on what was discussed earlier? What's going?
Well, I have a comment, like, as far as that, like, what they're gonna do about it now, that these are babies, like, the what's been going on, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no youth, man, in all these schools, like, why they can't figure out a good protection solution?
Yeah.
Like, the government, like, they work, everybody worrying about other stuff than what these people worry about. Kids, like, these are babies now, like, I'm just concerned on what are they gonna do now for protection for these kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All over the world, cause the time is now, 'cause, like, Tupac said all this stuff back then,
Mm-hmm.
day, about the youth and all this madness and then another thing I don't like is gun shows should have never been able to do what they did. It should have been no gun shows where people can come get access to hella guns like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just wanna know what they're gonna do now. Are they really gonna start putting the real problems first?
Okay.
Cause this stuff been going on for too long, man.
You're
That's just bad, man. Like, those are babies.
you're absolutely
I got a baby.
right.
Like, it's just sad to see that. Like,
Yeah.
real sad. So I'm concerned on, are they really gonna fix these problems that's been going on for so many years?
Exactly. James.
When are they gonna wake up and get off their high horses and really fix the problems that's going on in this world? Instead of just looking at the stuff that's not a problem.
Right. You're James. You are absolutely right. I am absolutely right. So, and before I gotta get anything you want to ask Miss Stottlemyre about the walk. She's on here because she's helping foster women. Anything you want to say to her, or yeah, she's helping foster women. She she's pretty much out. Just go ahead and listen to the rest of the program, and we'll just discuss what she's doing. All right. So I'm about to let you go. But James, I'm gonna holler at you when I get off because there's some things we got to talk about. But yeah, thank you, man, for your support and your calling in. All right, man. We will wrap it up soon. So making sure you still, man, you stay safe too, man, because you live around it. Right. Okay. All right. I'll holler at you, man. All right. Peace. So, thank you, James. James Knott. That was my good friend, James Knott. So, before we talk about that, finish what you were saying, where it's going to be held at, the walk.
So, it's going to be held at the Upper Pavilion of Edgewater Park. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful area. It's easy to find. It's part of the Metro Parks. And so we're really excited about it. The race starts at 9:30. People can come earlier to register. Mm-hmm. But I think that overall what Bessie's Angels does is we wrap our arms around our young people. And it's a trying time. And our young people are being, what happened in Texas, our young women here, even in Cleveland, are turning up missing. And when you don't have a family, nobody's looking for you.
Right.
And so what Bessie's Angels does is we put faces to the foster care problem and the things that are happening to our young people. They're almost invisible. And so we want people to know who they are. We want people to be willing to be more supportive. And you would think in a time where we're having all of these mass shootings that people would be kinder to each other, and everything that we do at Bessie's Angels is just from a place of love. And so as people celebrate with us, as we help these young women, that's what I want people to think about.
How much is it for them to register for the marathon or the walk?
So if you're walking, it's $25. Mm-hmm. If you are running, it's $50. You get a medal for running whether you win the race or not. Mm-hmm. You can go to www.bessiesangels.org. And Bessie's is spelled BESSIES, angels.org. And a big old footprint, big old tennis shoe will show up. Just click on the shoe and you can register for the walk.
All right. So as far as the facilities, or do you have facilities, or you have an office? Where is it located? Just so people need your help.
We have an office. Our office is located on Wyatt and Miles, Henry Stoudemire Way, 17017 Miles Road. We're located inside of the McMullen Realty business building. Mm-hmm. But we also have 3 residences, one in Cleveland Heights, one in East Cleveland, and one opening in Garfield. So we have space for about 10 young women. Mm-hmm. They have their own bedrooms. They share a community area. It is not a group home environment. We want to teach our young ladies how to be good roommates and how to be good neighbors, because rents are high. So if you want to live someplace nice, chances are you're going to need a roommate, right, if you're making minimum wage.
Right. So how many young women do you house now?
So in Bessie's Place 1, we currently have 3 young women. Bessie's Place 2, the women are sort of in and out. Sometimes our young people treat us as though we are temporary housing, but we're really permanent housing. We just are housing with rules. So we welcome any young person that has been impacted by foster care, and you get our services whether you live at Bessie's Place or not. Okay. We do a lot of stuff on Zoom. We meet every need that a young person has.
So what about a young woman who was on foster care, got in trouble, was addicted to drugs, needed a place to stay in after she went to rehab?
We don't discriminate because you are recovering. We actually had a young lady that was recovering, and she's doing quite well now. Okay. But we take you once you're recovered.
Okay. So you're doing a lot. So pretty much, have you gotten any city, state help or any other federal help to keep the places is keep your place running smoothly?
So we've been very fortunate. Myself and the members of our board have been in public life for many years. I've been in corporate America for about 30. So the relationships that I've garnered over the years has allowed us to raise money to continue Bessie's Place. We have the Neighborhood Leadership Development Program, which is NLDP. They've funded us for many, many years. We have a variety of financial institutions that fund us at small levels, but they fund us just the same. And we have other funders that have been really, really good to us. We have a partnership with I had a brain freeze.
Go ahead.
we have a partnership with the Junior League that is awesome because not only do they donate funds, but they send volunteers. So we've been very blessed in our ability to raise money. We have not had any federally funded grants as of yet. Mm-hmm. Most of it is from corporations and the private sector.
Right. That's what's up. So did you like to shout out your board? I mean, I know you're the head woman in charge. You want to shout the rest of them out?
Yeah, I sort of drug my board along with me. So we have, let me make sure I get everybody right. We have Henry Stoudemire Jr., who is our chair. Latoya is our coach, vice chair. We have Rashida is our treasurer. Tamsin, Naomi, Laura, Charlotte. So it's really a family, friend, event. I think our board started because they loved me, and they kept on because they love the idea of serving and helping young people. And so I just thank them for the hard work they do. We have a great group of volunteers and an endless number of them, so I can't shout them all out tonight, but I'm very grateful for them. We have a great walk team as well.
Exactly. So who's in your are they on your walk team, or is somebody else on your walk team?
So what we did was the board has several other responsibilities. So they help with the walk, but we have a specific group of about 14 people that make up the walk committee. And they have been very diligent about trying to push out the word and get it all done. And so we're just very grateful because while I might be the voice of Bessie's Angels, the lesson for me is that you cannot do this type of thing by yourself.
You're right. You want to shout out the walk team?
Woo, that's a long list.
Shout everybody out.
Shout out everybody out.
Y'all trying to get me in trouble.
All right, shout them out.
Y'all trying to get here. I had to pull out my phone and look at my list. Let me see. We have Tamsin and Naomi and Laura and Denise and Jenny and Renata. Now let me tell you, Renata is a bad girl. She not only supports the walk every year, but she supports Bessie's Angels in a big way. We have women from the Junior League that are on our walk committee. We have just a variety of different women, but it's about 14 of them. We have Sharon Rose. She retired, and she's still doing the darn thing.
Okay.
So we have a lot of women that really cares about what happens to other women.
Well, most of them on the east side or the west side, are they far over?
So they're all over, but I would say predominantly the east side.
Okay.
But they're from all over the east side because the east side comes to way out,
right.
Mentor.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say predominantly, but we have a couple of west side ladies that are, that are getting it in too. We serve all of Cuyahoga County.
Okay.
So if somebody calls us, we have a great partnership with the Emancipation Department, SAFI, and the Emancipation Department is with the county and Bridges. So we have these partnerships where people refer their young people to us because they care what happens to them. And then we have all of these ladies who give of their time and their energy to mentor them. We have one lady that would take the girls to the laundromat. It's a collective effort of a lot of people. The next time, if you guys have me back, I'm going to come with a list.
Right, that's what's up. We got you. So we're going to take a short intermission right now at the 7:05 mark, a little bit after. When we come back, we're going to talk to you, Tanya, about what to call in. Shout out to James not for calling in. about what happened in Texas. So we'll be
Oh.
right back.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Rita. Thank you, Denise, Shaniqua, Sunshine Boyer, Denise Lights, and everybody else. So, and Ramita Foster said, hello, my dear friend Tanya. So we'll be right back on the Headline Eye on Nerve DJs. Peace. I didn't know you knew Ramina Foster.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's on my Facebook saying hello Tanya.
Ah. Yeah, I've been around a long time. I like Ramita. I don't get the chance to see her as often. But yeah.
Because she's working all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the sad thing about Texas. My goddaughter is a teacher in Texas.
Really?
Yeah, but she's in Houston, and it's so hard.
I'm going to Texas next week. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's that's the one place you used to think was safe, man. But not anymore. Now every place you go, you wonder what's next. What's gonna happen.
I'm playing spiritual. I've been playing spiritual music.
Well, people need something. I think people in general are just, people drive aggressively, they act aggressively, people are not giving each other grace. And you don't know you don't know what happened to the person before they got to you. You have to be nice to people. You might be the very person that pushed them over the edge. And now that people can walk around with a gun and not have any consequences for it, we really about to be in trouble.
Trouble.
When you get a chance, can you send me the information so I can see how to get to your? Because Luana told me about it.
Get to the website.
Yeah. Send it to your website or however I get to listen to you.
I can actually once.
Because I'm in my car a lot.
So I'll send it to you, but once the show is uploaded.
But if I want to listen to you just for GP.
Yeah, for GP. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
You gotta download the app.
Just download.
Oh, it's an app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nerve DJs.
Do you go on Facebook when you do your thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find it on Facebook. I felt so out of touch when she was telling me about it. I'm like, I'm really old.
Oh.
It's called Nerve DJ?
Nerve DJs.
Use a red app.
Red app. Nerve DJs mixtape.
It look like
Oh,
this
okay.
right here.
I see join group.
Should be red like this. Yep. No. Go back. It should be red like this.
This, right?
Don't let me see your phone.
Oh, I done joined the wrong thing? Let me unjoin.
Oh, yeah. I thought you was on the app. That's that's Facebook. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I have to be careful when I join. I watched Janetta on Facebook sometimes.
Jay Price.
Yeah, till they get to doing all that cussing, then I have to. I told her, baby, I want to watch, but all that cussing y'all be doing.
WNRV 108.1. Grab a glass of wine, light a candle, and settle in for the best slow jams to set the soundtrack.
for interviews. I had to have her say that. Yeah.
How's she doing?
She's doing good.
Who is that?
She went on about her business for real.
Yeah, Kim Johnson. What's that door, Larry?
Followers. For more information, bbmobileapps.com or on social media at bbmobileapps. That's B as in business, V as in victory, bbmobileapps.com.
This is the Human T-Rex. Check out my show every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on WNRV 108.1.
This is WNRV 108.1.
What's up? It's your girl, Author Ivy Lee. Tune into the Headline Eye on WNRV 108.1.
So you can't like tune into 108.1 in your car.
No, not yet. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I want you to download the app, and then you could like you can
Play it
listen
through my car.
Pop-ups here, pop-ups there. If so, it's time for you to join Nerve DJ's MP3 pool. The Nerve DJ's MP3 pool has mass downloads, or you can pick and choose which track you want. All you have to do is register on NerveDJsMixtapes.com. Fill out a short application and make sure to check the exclusive members MP3 pool box. It's just that simple. After that, one of our team members will approve your app within 24 hours. Then you can start downloading the promotional tracks. Nerve DJ's MP3 pool, we have massive downloads, or you can pick and choose which tracks you want. Just make sure you register at NerveDJsMixtapes.com. That's NerveDJsMixtapes.com. NerveDJsMixtapes.com and MP3 means open. Register today and you'll be glad you did. NerveDJsMixtapes.com. This is WNRV 108.1.
Hey everybody, this is Lisala Piri asking you to tune in every Wednesday to the Headline Eye at 6 p.m. on WNRV 108.1.
Is it hard for you to be in the same place at the same time every week?
What do you mean?
Well, one of my issues is my schedule. Like, you can't have an emergency. You got to be for your show, you know?
Yeah.
I probably would get in trouble for saying crazy stuff.
I mean, freedom to speak. You say what you want to say.
There was me.
Sound like you ready for your show. You ready for a show?
It's you know, the show part is challenging enough, but getting the money for it is even more challenging. You know, because you gotta get sponsors. I told my husband he should do a real estate show, but
You should.
Come on over.
we've been on that corner for 30 years. They've been in business for 50.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, we're back. That was DJ Sammy in heaven. Just again praying. This show is dedicated to the lives lost in not only the Buffalo mass shooting, that 10 people's lives were lost, but the Texas mass shooting to where 21 lives were lost and 18 of those lives were young children, 10 and under. Like I said, I am a daddy, I'm a father, and I worry that I don't get that phone call from his mom saying something happened to our child. I don't want that. I really just don't want that. You know, no matter if you're together with the, you know, the mother or father of children or not, you worry about these things pretty much. We're back with our guest, Miss Tanya Perkins Stottlemyre, doing for Bessie's Walk this Sunday, June 5th at the Pavilion. Not this Sunday, but Sunday, June 5th at the Pavilion. So, Mr. Ottomeyer, what do you think about what happened in Texas?
You know, I have a lot of thoughts about what happened in Texas. And gun control is a problem, but there's also people who suffer from mental illness. They can't get treatment. The people are blasting stuff out on Facebook. Other people see it. We have to, when we see something, we have to say something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to, in some ways, be our brother's keeper. It's not so much even about snitching. If somebody is on a social media platform talking about they're going to shoot people, especially in a school, the whole world should know. You should be calling everybody to tell. And when we see something, we should say something. We have stuff on the news where we see people snatching young women in broad daylight.
Right.
You know, and people walking past, you know, like that's normal or something. We have to start taking an interest in what happens to other people. And that's part of why we have Bessie's Angels, because if you just walk around and these people are suffering and nobody notices, it's just not going to turn out well.
And it hasn't. And I just been, you know, and, you know, you have children, correct? You have,
Listen, I have my children, his children, their children. I have a collection of children.
Right.
I have 9 children.
Mm-hmm.
I have about 14 grandchildren.
Right. Shout out.
And I have
right.
and I have 7 great grandchildren.
Wow.
And so and they are spread it not just all over the country. I have a daughter in Senegal.
Really?
And so I have my goddaughter is a teacher in Houston, and she has 2 children. And so my heart hurts. But I'm telling people, see, I believe in good trouble. I believe in social disobedience. I believe in marching. And people don't do that anymore. You know, if you don't want to vote, then march. But as long as we are talking about it and not being about it, as long as we go to work, get in our fancy cars, we drive home, and we focus on what's going on with us, then nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. I just believe that people have to stand up and make a lot of noise. To make a lot of noise. Every time I see one of our girls and they're struggling and nobody's saying anything, I don't know, it just does something to me. But we all have expectations about how people are supposed to act.
Right.
And so now we had this person who talked about hurting people. He shot his grandmother.
Right.
If you shoot your grandmama, you don't care about nothing.
Right. And, you know, and he's Hispanic, and, you know, the grandmother in the Hispanic family is like big mama to the black family. So it's like if you shot you was, you know, and and the reason why he did this was because supposedly, apparently, allegedly he was being bullied in high school because of his clothes. He didn't dress right, and, you know, and it's like, where does bullying people, getting bullied by people, go to shooting innocent children, you know? And there's the mental health factor. Unfortunately, we won't know that because he's dead now. The cops took him down. You know, the other mass shooter in Buffalo, because he was Caucasian, he's still alive, and he killed African American people, older African American people. So it's a weird to me. This has all been surreal and weird. And the thing about it is like, the hurtful part for those families, especially the parents of those children, they'll never get a chance to see him again, whether they live in the state or not. They'll never get a chance to see him again. And, you know, and it's like one of your foster girls, you know, getting hurt or worse, and there's a bed empty, and there's somebody you know that's supposed to be here is not here anymore.
You know, Um, I cannot imagine
Mm-hmm.
what it's like to lose a child. I, one of my grandchildren spends a lot of time with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I just can't imagine life without him. And I think that when we start thinking about that kind of thing, it should it should make us want to do something.
Right.
How many of us are actively contributing to a stranger? How many people are actively doing an act of kindness to somebody that they never met? How many of us are actively protesting something that we don't believe in? And when I think about people who can walk into school, I didn't even know my sixth grade teacher had a husband.
Really?
When the school was about, because teachers back then, I'm old. Back then, teachers didn't talk about their personal lives.
Right.
And so the teachers were going to go on strike, and we just knew we didn't have a problem because we were first in her life. We were all she had.
Right.
And she had to explain to us that she had a family. And we were shocked. You got a family? Your teacher is everything. And I talked to my daughter, my goddaughter, and I text her, and she has 2 more days in the school year.
Right.
And she just wants them to just, not send the kids back into school those last 2 days because it's traumatizing. Even though she's in Houston, this is a horrible thing that's happening.
Uverdale, Texas. So yeah, it's near around that area.
It's just hard to make sense of somebody hurting a child. It's hard to make sense of somebody killing a child, but we live in a world with people who are not well in a lot of ways.
I mean, the thing is that you deal with foster women, and some of them may have come from foster girls, and some of them may have come from abuse and neglect. How do you deal with that? As far as if they come into Bessie's Angels, how do you deal with that? So
that's why the very first word in our mission is to nurture. So we love on our girls and we hug on them, and COVID kind of put a stop to some of that, but we show up. Mm-hmm. You could say, I tell my friends all the time, we could say we're friends, but if somebody's not showing up for you, you don't know if they're your real friend or not. And so,
right.
And so we show up for our young women. And we try to meet them where they are without the expectation that they're going to act like me, because they're not. And when our young women, I do want to do a shout out to Dr. Sonji Kenyatta, because she is wonderful. She will provide mental health services for our young women, whether they have insurance or not. So, people need help. And when you don't know what that person went through before you got to them. It's like when I go someplace and people are mean, they don't know if I'm nuts or not. They don't know how I feel. They don't know what I went through, before I walked in the door. And so we have to practice being kinder to people, because I was bullied in school and I know what that feels like, but we didn't have access to all of this stuff that people have access to now. I wouldn't have known how to get a gun when I was in the 9th grade if I wanted one. I wouldn't have even known where to start. But people have so much access, and then they see about it and they hear about it. But until we do something, until we stand up, we talk about women's rights and right to life and all of that. I'm not pro or con. Right. I'm just saying, if we're going to have all of these children, then people need to be adopting them. They said something about it was 10 million abortions every year in the United States. Mm-hmm. We need somebody to adopt 10 million kids, because we're forcing people who are mentally ill and not well to have children, and then who's taking care of them? All of these foster girls that are out here struggling, they're out here struggling because nobody wants to take care of them. That boy that shot up these kids, He had a problem. People could see he had a problem. He walked around with his problem, and nobody did anything about his problem. And then he made his problem everybody else's problem. You know, and it's sad because if somebody
Facts.
if somebody had saw that, whoever saw that on Facebook, because you know somebody saw it, should have called the police and say, listen, go to such and such on Facebook. That's all they would have had to say. If you see something, do something. When you see people struggling and people, I have to check myself because sometimes people ask me for money and I'm trying to figure out, do they really need it? Just give them the money. You know, just give it to them if you have it. What they do with it, you know, if somebody asks you for $1, what he do with it ain't my business. Mm-hmm. You know, he might be really hungry.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I really, you know, appreciate your insight on that because you deal with, you know, if you're a foster child, that means that you are in the system because the parents did not want to or were not able to take care of you, and you were not adopted by a family that could
no
take
kinship care. Kinship care is when your grandmama come and get you or your aunt. Mm-hmm. You know, auntie comes and she takes care of you. So if you're in foster care, not only did your parents not there for you, but your family didn't stand up for you either. So I just want the world to know, young people who have been in foster care is not running around waving a flag talking about, hey, everybody, I was in foster care. That's not something, because that's saying nobody came for me. So you're not going to know them just because they're walking up and down the street. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes you have to talk to people and you have to listen, and there's cues. And the other thing is that every single foster child has had some type of trauma. Some of them have had excessive traumas, and they tell you the impact of trauma on the brain. Years ago, nobody studied that. Trauma changes how you think.
Right. What about if you were adopted? Same thing.
So we have helped young women who were adopted, but typically you go from foster care to adoption. Right. So our motto is, when we started out, we said we're only going to help 18 to 20, and you had to age out of foster care. But we quickly realized is that some people were reconnected to their family. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that should have never happened. Whatever the case may be, if they were ever taken from their family, they were traumatized. And so we help young women who were traumatized. Now, some of us were raised by our families, and we still have trauma. I think trauma is a part of living, but there's a special kind of trauma when you're taken from your mama or you're taken from your family. Your siblings are separated. That's something that's hard to get by. And there's a lot of wonderful foster parents out here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But there are a lot of them who are not.
So you have to watch who's in it for the love of the child and who's in it for the income for
right.
foster
And you
care.
can't prove that. The only thing that people can do, and what we do, is say, hey, what is your need? So a young lady called me today. She lost her job. You know, that happens a lot with this COVID thing. So she not only needed rent, but she needs her car insurance paid. And you know, they got this new hustle now, the car insurance people, where if you go too long without car insurance, now you have to have that SR22,
yeah,
which is really expensive. You could have never had an accident, never had a ticket. You just didn't have consistent performance. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that's in place that is set up in a way that our young people, 18, 19, 21, they can't succeed. They're gonna need some help. You know, I called my parents at 35 and said, I need to come home. And they sent for me and my 2 children. Had I not been able to call them, well, I was 32, same difference though.
Okay.
But the point is, I was good and grown and I needed help. Not a little help, big help. Because they had to bring me home from Atlanta. Now, where would I be today if I didn't have them to call?
Right. So
when you see foster kids, what I want people to think of is that's the person that can't call you for help. You know, our kids call us all the time when they want something. You know, those of you out here who have grown children and they need something and you help them, what would happen to them if you weren't there to help them? And that's the plight of our foster youth. They have a flat tire and, coming home from work at 11:30 at night, who they going to call?
Just simple, basic human need, pretty much.
Right. And that's what we do.
That's what Bessie Angels is about. And
Yeah.
you named it after your grandmother. Was she a foster parent?
That's what's so crazy, because my sister reminded me after we were in like our second year of this that my grandmother did have a foster girl. She had a foster kid named Cindy. And Cindy, we understand Cindy way better today than we did back then, because Cindy was tough. She was something. And so, what I learned from my grandmother is that when God blesses you, you bless people.
Right. So pretty much you guys, your grandmother made Cindy part of the village, because it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
And right now, especially now, it's going to take the village or the country to protect these children from
Let me tell you something. If we have to do so many different things. See, that's the thing about this gun stuff. We need gun laws, but let's face it, if it doesn't matter what kind of protection you have in your house, if a person is coming to get in and they really are coming to get in, they're going to get in. Mm-hmm. If people want guns, although, now don't get me wrong, we need some gun laws, but we also need to work on all the social ills that are creating these monsters that's going around killing people. Because you have to be mentally ill to kill all these people. Something has to be wrong with you that you can walk in a school and kill a baby. You are not well. Because you know what's going to happen. Chances are you at that point, you have to be ready to go yourself.
Right. And fortunately or unfortunately, depends who's listening, that Mr. Ramos, who was the perpetrator, is no longer here because the police had to put him down. Otherwise, he barricaded himself in a classroom and just start randomly shooting and hitting and killing 21 people, including 18 children under the 10 or under. And, we need, listen, elections are coming up, voting is coming up. I understand you want to march, voting is coming up. I believe in the process of, if they're not doing anything for you, there are 467 seats up in the Senate.
Let's get busy.
If they don't care about the gun laws, or they don't want to do anything about the mass shootings, you get rid of them. The same thing is, I think Albert Einstein said it best. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
The same way.
And expecting a different result. So on that note, we're going to take our last break. Stick around with us for a minute, and then we'll come back with the last part of the Headline Eye on Nerve DJs WNRV 1081. This is Sunday Morning Service Choir with the remake of SWV's Rain. We'll be right back.
This is WNRV 108.1.
Thank you.
I just think about it. Kids go to school and you're scared the whole time they're in school. And you almost forced to buy your kid a phone now, so they can call you if something's going on.
My son got a cell phone. His mom I helped pay the bill with his mom, but he got a cell phone. I'm like, he got a TikTok. I don't understand that at 10 years old, but as long as he has one, he can call.
Right. But then you got another problem, because now you don't know who they're talking to or who's talking to them. My grandson is 3 years old. He can go push all the little remote controls. We got 2 or 3 remote controls. Turn on the TV to what he wants. I'm like, you're 3. You can't count to 20. What's wrong with you? But it's a lot of monsters out here. There's a lot of monsters out here. But people aren't doing anything about it. I believe in civil disobedience. Because people don't respond to quiet. People respond to noise.
This is hot. I need to get one for the show.
We kind of upped our game. We had plastic bottles last year. We used to give out T-shirts, But people were acting like the T-shirts was like they bought the T-shirt and not like it was a token of appreciation. So if the T-shirt was a extra large and they wanted a large and we didn't have a large, they got mad. So we said we gotta stop. You know, you just giving out a T-shirt to say thanks for coming. But they felt like they registered, they paid $25, they need a T-shirt. So we stopped that. Because you don't want people to fall out with you about a T-shirt.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but this thing is hard. And see, Georgia, Atlanta, you going to Atlanta? Oh, okay. Yeah, because Atlanta is really, I got kids in Atlanta. Atlanta is really dangerous.
What do you mean? Just killing people?
Ugh. Atlanta is, it's the wild, wild west. I was so glad my son came home, I didn't know what to do. But I still have daughters there. But I think that the powers that be rely on us being quiet. And as long as we're quiet.
Silence is compliance. If you're silent, you agree to what's going on.
That's right.
Going on with right now. So the thing about it is, like, this is not cool.
Yeah, I don't miss a vote. But at the same time, when people start making noise, remember years ago when the Hispanics marched in Florida? They didn't care if they were illegal or not. They had the streets flooded. That's what black people need to do, but we don't want to do that.
A lot of people said that, marching doesn't solve anything unless you're behind the table. I'm like, well, what else can you do?
You see what happened with them men that killed Ahmaud Arbery? They thought they were gonna get off, but people was raising too much sand. They committed their murder at the wrong time. They probably done murdered a lot of black people.
Man, I ain't think about that.
People didn't just start murdering black people. They've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
But now because you have cameras and social media, that's just like my girls. Ain't nobody looking for them when they turn up missing. I tell them if I call you and you at Bessie's place and you don't answer the phone, I'm reporting you missing.
Right.
So you better answer the phone when I call you. You got 24 hours. Because if I'm looking for you, that means I care. If people not looking for you, they don't care.
I think that's what the human factor is. We either don't care or we care when it's too late. When it is something like this drastic happens, or somebody ends up killing themselves.
We have the perfect solution for you. Your
Or
business
somebody like
and so is your advertising.
we can now you give a damn. What about when I actually needed you and you weren't there, or you wanted to ignore my phone calls or whatever, or ignore their phone,
I tell everybody to pick a cause because there's so many causes. Did you ever see that movie Book of Eli?
Yes.
Okay, remember how he was going and he wanted to stop and help people, but he realized he had this one job he had to do.
Right.
We can't pick up a lot of causes because we won't do. You got to have your one and work the hell out of that one. But some people are doing nothing. Some people don't have a cause. Everybody should have something that they do related to social justice.
They specialize in creating apps with live audio streams, mixes, music, and songs.
Right.
You can integrate your social
When people get up, they go to work and they come home.
Most importantly, send push notifications to your followers.
Some people are tired of doing that. I think the problem is that we throw labels on one another, and we don't know who's supposed to help you.
And we judge people by the way they look. And my girls, if they have a bonnet on their head, don't talk about it. Maybe she can get her hair done.
Right. You'll be right. We're coming right back. Yep. All right, we're back. Last part of the headline Eye on Nerve DJs. Shout out to, first of all, one person that Miss Stoudemire we forgot to shout out was LaWanna Monique Graves.
Yes, yeah. You know what? She just jumped in and helped, and I just appreciate her so much.
Yes, LaWanna, I've known LaWanna for years, and she always has that helping spirit, that good, kind heart, and God bless you and your family, LaWanna. Thank you very much. I got to give you a personal shout out. Also, I'm going to say that this nice, I'm not going to put it on Facebook Live, but this nice little canister for Bessie's Angels, you're essential to us, bessiesangels.org. I love this. Usually I'm the one giving the gifts and the food, but this is nice to get something like that. I thank you very much for that gift.
Yeah, well, you know, you can't show up to people's houses empty-handed.
Touché.
And see, if I thought about that, I got another one in my car, so you can get one too.
Okay.
All right, that's what's up. See, thinking about everybody. That's what I like.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I grabbed one, but then I said it might be another person. So
yeah, the engineer. Yeah, it. You know, you are that. That was wonderful. So, and these are not plastic. These are metal. So,
yeah, well, you know, it's summertime. We wanted something that can stay a little cool for a minute.
That's what's up. I like that. I really do. So, you know, again, when is Bessie's Walk happening again, and how can people volunteer to help if they want to?
So this is the thing, but not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Next
Meet
Sunday.
us at Edgewater Park next Sunday. The run starts at 9:30, so come a little early. Come around 8:30. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna have a DJ. Shout out to Sonja Pearson. This girl is fabulous. She does toning. She's an exercise person. She's gonna get us all revved up. She supports us every year. It's always a lot of fun. You can register. You can go to Eventbrite, but if you go straight to our website and click on the shoe, it'll take you right to our registration. And we really have a good time. You're going to meet all types of people. So if you're into meeting people and just enhancing your sphere of influence, just getting to know people that you would have otherwise never met, show up for our walk, because we really, really have a good time. And when it comes to volunteering, we are always looking for people because we need everything. So you can find me on Facebook at Bessie's Angels, Bessie's Chat, Tanya Perkins Stoudemire. I live a very public life. I'm not hard to find. And just tell me what it is you are an expert at, and we'll find a way to make that work for us. Our young women, they need everything. They need jobs. They need people who are going to treat them respectfully on these jobs. We're looking for employers that will work with us. If you have a issue with one of the young ladies that's a Bessie's Angels participant, just give us a call. We'll work with you to work with them, because once you show some loyalty to an employee, they become the best employee that you have.
Right.
So we need everything. We need people to be a part of our community, because I'm telling you, when we start helping people and touching people, that very young lady that we are offering assistance to, she might be your neighbor. You might run into her on the bus. You are going to meet our young people somewhere, and you want the people that we run into to know that somebody cared about them. Because maybe that's a lot of these problems. These people that are doing these things, how are they loved? Have they been loved? How long have they felt this bit that they've been mistreated or disrespected? We have to be careful how we treat people, because that one thing could be the thing that pushes them over the edge. And everything, guns and all of this violence, guns are too easily accessible. We have to start treating mental illness. We have to.
Right. So the thing is that, you know, as far as you said, you had, as far as your 3 locations, you had openings for foster women. We talked about foster women. We don't want to forget about the foster boys, the foster men in there too.
So you know what? I have a friend, Greg Jones, and I always he gonna kill me, but it's a second. I think it's a second home for me. And Greg does what I do, but he does it for guys. And so we have a network of people. When our young people need help, we just start calling around to see who can help them. And the goal is to just make sure that if somebody asks us for help, male or female, we can find a way to do that. But Bessie's Angels specifically caters to women.
I understand that.
So if you have a guy that needs help, he can reach out to us and I will refer him to Mr. Jones.
Okay. And he has the same network, and you guys, coincide with each other too, pretty much helping foster children, period.
Yeah.
And no matter what age, not what race they are, pretty much.
Well, okay, so listen. We've had younger people younger than 16 to come to an event of ours. It's not a big deal. We had to pick an age group, so we picked 16 to 24. But we don't turn people away. We've had women to show up who have been in the foster care system to one of our events or a couple of our events, and they were 27. We didn't say, well, you can't come in, because if they were there, that meant they needed something.
Right.
And everything that Bessie's Angels have, everything that we have, we give away. Right. We have hygiene items. We have really nice things for women. We don't give people things that we wouldn't want to use ourselves. So all of the items that we share with our young people are nice things.
Have you, do you, what about if the foster person has
So we serve young people with children. They just don't live at Bessie's Place.
Okay.
So if you have a child, you can't live at Bessie's Place, but that doesn't mean that we can't bring you food. That doesn't mean that you can't participate in the workshops. You can't get a gift card or a bus pass or clothes. We serve any young woman who's been impacted by foster care. Young women that live at Bessie's Place have to be between the ages of 18 to 24. They need to be working or going to school, because I have 3 jobs, so you got to go. You got to do something.
Right, you got to do one.
You got to do something, right? So they have to be working or going to school, and they have to give back and be willing to volunteer 14 hours a month.
That's it.
That's it. There's no smoking. If you gotta smoke, you have to go outside. Mm-hmm. I have severe asthma, so I can't come over to help you if the house is full of smoke.
Right.
So and it's not safe. So there's no smoking, no alcohol, and no drugs.
No smoking, no alcohol, no drugs. And I think the thing about it is, you have to you pretty much respect the rules of the house. And also, you just got to make sure that you're, respecting yourself, until, get a chance to get a place of your own, as far as that. And I think the one thing that we understand in the community, that we need a leg up. And I think that your organization does give them a leg up. And with 18-year-olds going out here killing people, we got to remember that there are 18 to 20-year-olds who need our help.
Hurt people hurt people. We've said that for years. Hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. And when you have people who are out here hurting and they're hungry and they're suffering, and how many times have we saw somebody laying in the street and assumed that they were intoxicated,
right,
but didn't check? I have gotten told off for waking people up. Do you need something? Look, lady, I didn't ask you for nothing.
Right.
But I'm checking. I'm like, you okay? Because I work downtown. So, but I've learned to stop waking people up. But I'm checking.
Well, yeah, because you try to wake somebody up, they not waking up right away. You got to call an ambulance.
That's right.
And the thing about it is that I remember, one time in high school, that we had violence in my high school, and it was gang versus gang. I woke up, I went to John Marshall High School. Our biggest rival was John F. Kennedy, and we knew the people in the area. So it was like the gang unit came in because everybody was fighting each other. You had people that came all the way to the west side from John F. Kennedy, who was on Lee and Harvard, to fight people from Marshall and then these little street gangs, and then the gang unit was called in, and I think that was the most violence that I had in high school, because everybody was like, the second floor was filled with people getting thrown through to lockers and stuff like that. But we have never had like gangs and stuff, but we had never had to worry about this level of violence to elementary school children.
It's it's very sobering, for lack of a better word. My husband and I, we were praying today, and you don't want a whole lot of depressing prayers, but it's so much to pray for. And these families, I mean, I just can't imagine I send my baby to school and he doesn't come back. Or my daughter goes in to teach and something happens. But the only thing the way that I can see us through this is if people change, we change as a people, how we treat people. And when I see one of our girls struggling, look, I tell people in a minute, let's go find a couch. Let's go find a therapist, because sometimes if you just have somebody you can say it out loud to with no judgment. And that's the wonderful thing about therapy. You can go talk to the therapist, as long as you're not telling the therapist you're going to kill somebody or yourself. They will listen, let you get it all out, won't judge you. And when the bell goes off, you get up, you go on about your business, and you don't have to worry about them worrying about you. A lot of times we don't want to tell our friends and family because we don't want them to judge us, or we don't want them to worry about us.
Right.
But if you just go to therapy, that person will stay detached, and you can tell them all of it. And sometimes we just need somebody that we can tell it all to.
Vent to somebody. You can vent to your friends, and sometimes it's good, especially if you're feeling real down. But if you talk to somebody that is non-biased and will listen to what you are saying, then you feel like that you are being listened to, and being, and not just that. And then we have relationships, that, they're hard. But the thing about it is that, you have to have somebody that you can talk to. And a lot of stuff has been, the structure of things have been broken, and it needs to be fixed. So we can pray all day, but I think the best thing is saying faith without works is dead. Now, we can pray for the families of these victims, but they're going to need mental, physical, financial support, because I don't want to go back to work. My child dead. My child got killed. I don't want to do nothing. They probably don't want to do nothing. And hopefully that the federal government has something to give them, and just not blowing out the side of their neck saying stuff. So I appreciate organizations like yours to help the foster children, the ones that feel like they were forgotten by not only the system, but their own family. And I appreciate
and other people too.
Yes, and other people.
We can live right next door to somebody and see they need something and we don't offer it. Like, how is that? How do you see that your neighbors need their grass cut, and instead of you, when you get your grass cut, paying a little extra, or you might be cutting your own grass, you see their grass is high, but they're trifling or whatever, you mad about it, and you just let the grass stay high. We have to start helping each other. And if we don't go out of our way sometimes to do something for somebody else, it can mean a life.
It can mean their life or somebody else's life if they're upset.
Exactly.
Food for thought. Like I said, I appreciate you for coming, taking the time out. Now, your busy schedule to come interview with me.
When you said I could come, I was like, yes.
I was like, and the thing about it is, like, should I wait till? No, I'm not, just going ahead. If you can come today, come on.
And what did I say? Okay.
You was right.
I got a little turned around.
All right, so and like I said, you have been a blessing. Being an African American woman, how hard is it to get foster women to listen to you?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, just think about it. Were you listening to your parents at 18? So if you've been mistreated, you don't have parents, and then you got yet another person trying to tell you something. It's hard, but we lead with love. And so we're going to keep talking to you. We can try to hold your hand through the process. Most of the time we're successful, but not all the time. And so, I don't know how much time we have left, but I just want to leave people with a desire to do more for other people. When you see that your neighbor or the person down the street might be struggling, we don't want to talk to strangers and all of that, but we can always do a little something. We can even drop money in people's mailboxes. They don't have to know it came from you. If you see a little kid and the little kid is dirty and he don't smell quite right, maybe they don't have a washing machine. Maybe they don't have any money. Give people, you could give them a gift of a shirt without saying, oh, you dirty, you nasty. Just drop it in a dollar store bag and leave it on the doorstep. There's so many things that we could do that can make people feel love. And I'll feel a lot of love if you all register for the walk, like right now.
Right. Before we go, how can they register for the walk?
www.bestseesangels.org. We have a phone number, 440-256-6663. Do something for somebody that you don't know.
All right. That's what's up. And unfortunately, that is our show for today. There might be a break between shows due to the fact that my son will be here. So I'll keep you guys posted on my social media. But right now, if nobody tells you that they love you today, I do. We are out of here with one of my favorite songs. Hopefully it lifts everybody's spirits up. We need change, and we need to lift people in positivity. So this is Optimistic by my favorite group, The Sounds of Blackness. Peace, love, and hair grease. Pray for Texas, pray for Buffalo, and pray for the world. That's what we need.
Yes.
Amen. And I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Peace.
This is WNRV 108.1.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming at such short notice, because I didn't know.
Look, I moved some stuff. I was supposed to meet with the man that's going to do something, tell us how to run. I was like, somebody else needs to go.
That was good interview. Good interview. Real good.
So if you're going to be here, I'll run downstairs and get your water bottle.
You don't have to.
He said, I don't need no water
I mean, I
bottle.
didn't mean it like that, but
No, I feel you.
because I just drink straight out the bottles. I mean, like I don't put it in the bottom. Like,
Well,
I'm pretty thankful. Give it to somebody who really needs it. Like,
well, I'm hoping we'll have a couple of hundred people
that's
that
what's
really
up.
need it.
That's what's up. That's
That
what's
really
up.
need it.
For
Well,
sure.
it was absolutely, let me give you guys my card.
I would like for you, if you possibly can, does your card have your email on it?
Yeah.
I would love to send
Couple
you
cards for the wall, and I got regular business cards.
a regular business card. I would like to send you a rate sheet, so if you wanted to, hopefully you can advertise with us.
Okay.
Cause I'm broke and I got a 10-year-old.
I would just tell him that's the thing about having a radio station.
How you promote yourself?
Yeah. And the thing about it is we love African American. See, the thing about it is that mostly I do politicians, but the thing about it is it's always community people that are doing stuff like yourself. And I'm like, give me more contacts. I'll interview them. I don't care. So LaWanna was like, I have this lady and she never sent it over. But I guess she's going through something. Didn't want to say.
I'm gonna give you my card. I can't find my business cards. I got 5 jobs.
Was your husband like running for Congress or councilor?
Oh no, not my husband.
I'm trying to think when the last time. I'm trying to think when did I see you?
You know him from real estate. He's a real estate broker.
Okay.
What's his name?
Henry Steinmeier.
Oh, okay.
You know Henry
I
Steinmeier?
don't know him, but I heard of him.
Yeah, he's LaWanna's cousin.
Who goes?
My friend LaWanna's cousin. So yeah, McMullen Realty.
Yeah.
Isn't there a law office in that building as well?
That's Luana's aunt.
Alicia Graves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Luana's mom's sister.